I mean, it's different culture, different people. You're used to different things. Something that I noticed is that, Brazilians, we're loud. We like to party. We always have excuses to have a party, and we're very open. Honest about our feelings, and so if you say something that is not really nice, you get mad for a little bit, and then you're fine. And I've noticed that, at least with like companions and just people in general, Americans are more reserved and more, they keep things to themselves. And so, like it's harder for them to share their feelings or share what they're thinking, unless you're like really dig in or unless they really trust you. But Brazilians, you just tell everybody what's happening with your life and everybody knows. And Americans are not, like nobody really knows what's going on with them. And then I think because people are so open to just talk about anything in Brazil, it's easier for you to talk about anything. Like you can talk about politics, you can talk about gospel, God, whatever you want to talk about, it's easy. And then in America, sometimes as a missionary, I would ask people, like, oh, do you believe in God? And people would get so offended. Like I've asked them something so personal, and I was like, I'm just asking if you believe in God. If you don't, like, just say no. Like, it's fine. But that was, like, really hard for me. Like, oh, my gosh, like, I offended you because I asked you that? So it was, like, an adjustment, just, like, okay, maybe I can't say those things. Like, maybe I have to be, like, more American and not like, say too much or be too much. So that's something that I noticed. And then Brazilians love to cook. We love to eat. We always say, just put more water in the beans and you can invite more people. Saying, it doesn't matter, like we can always have one more person over. And I felt like on my mission, a lot of people would feed us breakfast for dinner. And I would be so hungry because they didn't make a lot of food. And so that was funny because, in Brazil, there's always like tons of food. And they fed us really good food, but sometimes it was very small portions. Not complaining, I'm grateful for it, but I gained 20 pounds, so they fed me. It's not like I was hungry. But it was just like different to see, how missions or how people are in different places. Also, I would say that Americans are very, like the guys are very gentlemen, like they'll open the door for you. They will I don't know, pay for your meal. Like in Brazil, nobody pays for your meal. Like even if you're like married, like you just pay for yourself. Like you don't share anything. So it's kind of like just different, that part. And I really like how, they are here. I think that's really nice that they will treat you really well. But in Brazil, like it's easy, it's like kind of normal for you. If you're eating something, somebody would just like, oh, can I try some? And then you just like share your food with everybody and you eat from the same fork. Not with like everyone, but just with your families and stuff. And so sometimes my sisters will do that too. If I'm like dating somebody or anything, they'll be like, can I have a piece of your sandwich? So it's kind of funny because they're like, sure. But it's just, I don't know, you get used to it. But the food, the fruit in Brazil is so good. That's something I miss every day because I think it's because it's a tropical place, so the fruit has a better taste. I always tell people that bananas don't taste like bananas to me here. And I've heard that we have like about 90 fruits that like America doesn't have. And so those fruits are really yummy, and it's sad that Heavenly Father didn't make them in America as well. But we have some places here that they make some foods, Brazilian places, but it's not the same. But I miss, some people make fun of me still because of my English, like some things that I will say. So that sometimes is kind of hard. Not really, but some days you just like don't want people to make fun of you anymore. So I kind of miss speaking my own language and not have people tell me that I'm saying something wrong or that what I said doesn't make sense. So I don't know. I think it's because I used to be very prideful because I was so good with Portuguese. So it was like a learning and humbling experience for me to learn another language and just to have people correct me all the time, because I used to be the one correcting the missionaries in Brazil and just saying, no, you're saying like wrong things in Portuguese. So I would be like a brat to them. So it's good because people in America are a lot nicer than I was to them, and they help me speak correctly. So it's kind of fun. I love being surrounded by members of the church because in Brazil, where I grew up, in my high school, me and my sister, we were the only members of the church. And so that was very hard, because people would ask us like, oh, that's an American church. And we had, no, this is like the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It was restored in America, but it's not an American church, it's the Church of Christ. And so it was sometimes kind of hard because people would make fun of the American church that we belong to. But I think Americans are so blessed to have so many historical places to go visit, like in Brazil, there's really nothing. But here, you can go to Missouri, you can go to Utah, you can go to New York, to Palmyra, so there's like so many good things that you can do here. Like you don't only have to base your testimony in things that you've heard, you can actually go to the place and feel the Spirit and know that place like was where Joseph Smith sought God, and just different things in general. So I think that's one of the biggest difference. I would say that people here have so many resources and so many opportunities to learn more about the gospel. We have the Family History Center in Salt Lake, and it's huge. You can find so many files and do so many things, and even like the temple. Like I would drive 3 hours to get to the closest temple, and here you have. I live by the Provo City Temple. It's like 2 streets up, and I'm at the temple. And so it's just really cool that you have so many opportunities to stay close to the Spirit, and you're surrounded by members of the church, so they know your beliefs. They can help you when you're struggling. They won't make fun of you for what you believe. And so I hear a lot of people saying that, they don't like Utah because of the members or whatever, but I feel like I'm so blessed to be surrounded by members, because I know how hard it is to have bad influences around you. Not that not being a member is a bad influence, but just having people that have different lifestyles and it's not the same as you. And so that's very hard, because sometimes you feel weak, and if you don't have those good people with values and beliefs, good beliefs, it's easy for you to go downhill pretty fast. So I'm grateful to be surrounded by members of the church, because they help me. I think it's cool too that like people, so one of the biggest difference too about America and Brazil is that here people actually go to school. Because in Brazil, it's very expensive to go to college. And so that's why, the people that are poor, they can never really get out of that poor zone, because they don't have opportunities. And so the rich people, they can afford going to school, so they go to school and they have a career and they get more money. And here in America, you have student loans, you have, cheaper scholarships and cheaper colleges, and even, the church program, the Pathway program. And so you have like so many opportunities to help you to get a degree in education. And I think that's what makes America great, is because people want to learn and they want to be better and they want to have better lives. And they can, because they have the resources and the opportunities to do so. So I think that Americans are blessed to go to school and have those opportunities.